Stop following the maintenance schedule in your owner's manual if you actually want your car to last more than a few years. Most people think they are taking care of their car by doing exactly what the manufacturer says, but they are actually setting themselves up for a massive repair bill or a dead engine way before the 500,000-mile mark. If you want to know why your car is slowly dying and how to stop it, you need to listen very closely to what I'm about to tell you. The car industry doesn't want your car to last forever. Think about it. If everyone drove their car for 20 or 30 years, these big companies would go out of business. They want you to buy a new car every 5 to 7 years. That is why their recommended service intervals are often designed to get the car through the warranty period and not much further. But I have seen cars hit 500,000 miles, and it wasn't by magic. It was because the owners knew a few secrets that the dealerships won't tell you. Let's start with the knowledge part of this. You have to understand what is actually happening inside your engine. Imagine you have two pieces of metal rubbing together really fast, thousands of times every single minute. Without a thin layer of oil between them, they would get so hot they would literally melt together in seconds. That is what friction does. Now, oil is amazing, but it isn't immortal. Over time, that oil gets hit with extreme heat and tiny bits of metal and carbon. It starts to break down. It turns from a slippery liquid into something more like a thick, dirty sludge. When people tell you that you can go 10,000 or 15,000 miles between oil changes, they are technically right for the short term. The car will run, but inside that old oil is leaving behind tiny deposits. It's like cholesterol in a human heart. It starts to clog the small passages that feed oil to the most important parts of the engine. By the time you hit 100,000 miles, your engine is already tired because it hasn't been breathing or lubricating properly. To get to 500,000 miles, you have to treat oil like the lifeblood it is. You change it early and you change it often. But it isn't just about the engine. You have to understand the cooling system too. Most people never think about their coolant until they see steam coming out of the hood. That is a huge mistake. Coolant doesn't just keep the engine from melting, it also has chemicals inside it that stop the metal parts of your engine from rusting or corroding from the inside out. Over a few years, those chemicals wear out. The liquid might still look green or orange, but it's basically just water at that point, and it's eating away at your water pump and your radiator. Knowledge is power here. If you know that these fluids die before the car does, you can save the car. Now let's talk about the action. What do you actually need to do starting today? The first habit is the 5,000-mile rule. Forget what the manual says about 10,000 miles. Change your oil every 5,000 miles and always use a high-quality synthetic oil and a good filter. It is the cheapest insurance policy you will ever buy. If you spend an extra $40 a few times a year, you are saving yourself $5,000 on a new engine later. The next action is about your transmission. Most modern cars claim to have lifetime transmission fluid. This is one of the biggest lies in the car world. There is no such thing as a fluid that lasts forever. Usually, when a manufacturer says lifetime, they mean the lifetime of the warranty, which is about 60,000 to 100,000 miles. If you want to hit 500,000, you need to drain and fill that transmission fluid every 40,000 miles. Don't do a high-pressure flush, because that can force dirt into places it shouldn't go. Just a simple drain and fill. It keeps the gears shifting smoothly and prevents the transmission from overheating and burning itself out. Another action you need to take is how you start your car. Most people jump in, turn the key, and immediately floor it out of the driveway. That is like waking someone up from a deep sleep and telling them to run a marathon instantly. When a car has been sitting overnight, all the oil has drained down into the bottom pan. The top of the engine is dry. For the first 30 seconds to a minute, you should let the car idle. This allows the oil pump to push that fresh oil up to the camshafts and valves. Even more importantly, don't drive the car hard until the temperature gauge is in the middle. Middle expands when it gets hot. If you push the engine while the metal parts are still cold and haven't expanded to their proper size, you are causing tiny amounts of damage that add up over the years. Let's talk about the feeling. Why does any of this matter? It's about the feeling of freedom. When you have a car that is paid off and it runs perfectly, you feel like you have a superpower. Most people are stressed out about a $700 car payment every single month. They are working jobs they hate just to pay for a piece of metal that is losing value every day. But when you drive a car with 300,000 or 400,000 miles and it feels just as tight and smooth as a new one, you have won the game. You feel a sense of pride. You look at your car not as an appliance, but as a partner that has been through life with you. There is also the feeling of security. You know that when you turn that key in a snowstorm or on a long road trip, it is going to start. That peace of mind comes from the habits we just talked about. You aren't worried about a check engine light because you know the condition of every fluid and belt in that machine. You feel in control. But there is one more thing about action that people forget: the body health of the car. If you live in a place with snow, the salt on the roads is a car killer. It's like cancer from metal. An action habit you must have is washing the underside of your car once a week during the winter. If the frame rusts through, it doesn't matter how well the engine runs. The car is junk. You have to keep the structure healthy. Also, listen to the car. A car will almost always try to tell you it's sick before it dies. If you feel a tiny vibration or hear a little squeak or notice a weird smell, don't turn up the radio to ignore it. Investigate it immediately. A $10 rubber bushing that is replaced early can stop a $500 suspension part from breaking later. Let's dive deeper into the knowledge of your tires and brakes. Most people think tires are just about safety, but they also protect your car's suspension. If your tires are out of balance or old and hard, they send vibrations through the whole car. These vibrations wear out your wheel bearings and your steering parts. Keeping your tires properly inflated and rotated every 6,000 miles is a simple action that keeps the bones of your car healthy. Now we are getting to the climax of this whole philosophy. The most important secret, the one thing that separates the cars that die at 100,000 miles from the ones that hit 500,000, is the 1% rule. This means that you never let a small problem stay a small problem for more than 24 hours. The people who hit 500,000 miles are the ones who fix the tiny door handle that sticks, or the light bulb that went out, or the small crack in the windshield immediately. Why? Because when you let small things break, you start to lose respect for the car. You start to see it as a beater. Once you stop caring about the small things, you eventually stop caring about the big things, like the oil changes and the timing belt. The climax of car longevity is a mental shift. You decide that this car is a permanent part of your life, not a temporary tool. To summarize everything we have talked about, if you want your car to last 500,000 miles, you have to be smarter than the marketing. You have to change your oil every 5,000 miles using high-quality synthetic. You have to change your transmission and cooling fluids even if the manual says you don't have to. You have to let the engine warm up before you drive it hard. You have to wash the salt off the bottom of the car to prevent rust. And most importantly, you have to fix every single tiny problem the moment it happens. This isn't just about saving money, although you will save tens of thousands of dollars over your life. It's about being a responsible owner and taking pride in what you own. It's about proving that we don't live in a throwaway culture where everything is replaced the moment it gets a little old. Your car can hit 500,000 miles. It can probably hit 1,000,000 if you really want it to. It just takes a little bit of knowledge, a lot of consistent action, and the right feeling of respect for the machine. If you follow these habits, you will be the person that everyone asks, "How is that car still running?" You will be the one with no debt and a reliable ride while everyone else is stressing over their next lease. It is a simple path, but it requires discipline. Start today. Go check your oil level. Look at the color of your coolant. Listen to your engine. Your car wants to stay alive. You just have to give it the tools to do it. Watch this next video to learn the specific tools every car owner needs to keep at home.